So, yo-yo? Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the Cowhat Librarian, and for a change, the graphic novel I'm talking about tonight is not something I initially found at my local public library. My daughter and I were at the local toy store a few weeks back looking for a birthday gift for a friend of hers, and this one was on their graphic novel shelf. I took a quick look, placed a hold on it through my public library, and picked it up last week. And it is Freestyle by Gale Galligan. And it was fantastic, folks. Cory is a member of a dance crew. He and 7 others form the dance crew 8 Bits, and they get together and dance for fun. But they also do it for competitions, and this next one is going to be a biggie. It's their last year of middle school, and all 8 of them are heading in different directions in New York, to different schools and different futures and different career paths. And this is their last chance to perform together. So Cory and his friends are working extremely hard, and things are going well enough. Well, sort of. Their dance captain Tess is pushing them harder than she ever has before and cracking down on Cory freestyling rather than following the choreography she's laid out. And Cory's getting pressure from another front too. He's paired up with Suna as his lab partner in chemistry class, and instead of allowing him to help with an experiment, she takes over, doesn't let him participate, and when he finally does try to chime in and get a little bit of the experiment for himself, he causes a small explosion. That's not the end of Cory's school troubles, though. His parents also have a word with him because his grades are dropping. Instead of being an A or a B student, his grades have sort of descended into the high C's. And they're not happy about it. And so they inform Cory that he's done dancing for now, that he needs to focus on his grades, and that they've got him a tutor. So one afternoon, he's at home, and his tutor shows up. And it's Suna. Cory's mom introduces them and retreats to let them get to work. They start arguing about the chemistry class and not being happy with each other, and Cory's fairly rude through this. And they blow up and have an argument, and Suna leaves, and Cory is lectured at by his mom, and things are pretty bad. But they get better, because shortly afterwards, Cory sees Suna at school, but not in a class, not in a lab, not even at a cafeteria. He finds her in a secluded area in the schoolyard, yo-yoing. And not just regular yo-yoing, not throwing the yo-yo down and back again or making it sleep, but doing amazing yo-yo tricks. She is talented as anything at this. And Cory is just awestruck. He's absolutely amazed. He gushes about how amazing she is at yo-yoing, and they come to an agreement that if Cory smartens up and listens to her as a tutor and practices and does his homework, she'll teach him some yo-yo tricks on the side. And so Cory shapes up. They meet again to study, and Cory's mom is suspicious. She's concerned that this is going to blow up in her face again, and heads up later to find that they're chattering and studying hard. Suna even uses her yo-yo string to illustrate a math concept to Cory, the idea that the angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. And it's great. And over time they gradually develop a friendship. And Cory learns more about Suna, that she had an older brother who got her into yo-yoing, and that he was an amazingly successful student and a wonderful person, and she never quite matches up to that in her parents' eyes. It's all about her brother, even though he's off at college now. And she has a really hard time wanting to talk to him now because he's the golden child in their family. Well, around that, Cory's also having trouble with his crew because they start to feel that he's abandoned them as he's become friends with Suna. she's studying with him, but also making time to take him to her yo-yo shop that she shops at to get him fitted out with a better yo-yo and strings. And he learns about a yo-yo competition, and then it all blows up. At a Halloween dance, Cory and his friends have a confrontation about how much time he's been spending with Suna, and they blurt out that Cory's been complaining about her all year to them. And so Suna's feelings are hurt. And Cory's friends' feelings are hurt because he's been ditching them to hang out with Suna. And everything blows up in his face, and it's all horrible. It was great. Gale Galligan is talented. The story is great. One, there aren't a lot of stories about this sort of friendship group existing. It's not a sports team. It's not something regimented, not something with a coach or adult supervision. It's just friends who like to dance together doing it. And that was really fun. It was fun to have Cory as the main character for that, because even though it's breakdancing and such, I personally I can't think of too many books I've read where the main character was a boy who was involved in dancing in any form. I'm sure there are some, but I haven't run across too many. Suna was a wonderful, well-rounded character, and the fact that she wears a head covering at all times when she's out and about in public and takes it off in home, and it's just part of her character. It's not an issue. It's not a thing that Cory and his friends comment on. It's just, hey, this is something she does. It's just, hey, she's Suna. It's just part of it. This is what books need to look like when they're showing real diversity. People just living their lives and just being themselves and just being part of the group, being part of the conversation, not being the kid in the wheelchair or the adult wearing a burqa or anything like that. It was great. The different members of Cory's crew, even though they're all secondary characters, they all have individual personalities, and it's fun to see a couple of the little running gags about who they are and what their priorities are throughout the book as different things happen. His captain Tess is just a driven, passionate person, and she's amazing as well. Suna's brother was an interesting character, and while her experience and her family certainly shaped her life, he's off to the side. He pops up near the end, but he's just this thing out there that causes some effect on her life, but isn't a big part of it at the moment. The art style is absolutely fantastic. Bright and colorful and expressive. The quiet moments are well done, and Galligan is really, really great at varying the tempo just with her art style. Going from quiet moments like these, a conversation with Tess and Cory, where things slow down as you watch people walking around them and their conversation is heading in the background, to the more frenetic Cory and Suna at the dance, or the amazing dance routine at the end. You can feel the motion happening. It's compelling. Galligan knocked this out of the park. It was well written, well drawn. If you liked Scott Pilgrim, but would like a middle school version that didn't have violence, I'd really, really recommend this. I got a lot of the same vibes from it. Cory's clueless moments are not that far off from Scott's, and the conflict between him and his friends about a new girl he's hanging out with, in this case not in a romantic way, but it felt very, very similar. So if you like Scott Pilgrim, you'll like this. Anyway, I highly recommend it. Now with that said, it wasn't perfect. There are spoilers ahead because I have to talk about the deal breaker. So, things were in rough shape, but Cory patches it up. He patches things up with his friends. He apologizes to Tess. He apologizes to Suna. He goes ahead and registers he and Suna for a yo-yo championship without her knowing, and he has to apologize more to her after that. And they compete, which was fun. And they did not make it past the first round, which was great. I love it when stories have them becoming very, very skilled, but are also realistic about it. Cory's been yo-yoing for a couple months at most, a month or two, I think, in the timeline of the book. There's no way he'd be able to compete in a heavy-duty competition. So it was great that he didn't automatically win. And in the aftermath, Cory convinces Suna to come perform as part of his dance crew's routine, where he and Suna do a yo-yo routine around the crew's dance. It was a great idea. It feels like something that came logically from the story and from Cory wanting to get his groups of friends together, and as something that would really, really set their dance routine apart. But I have a really hard time believing that in the short period of time they had, that Cory and Suna would be able to do anything more than just throw yo-yos out in front of the dance crew performing at a safe distance of 5 or 6 feet. Cory's dance crew was not used to dealing with the yo-yos. Suna and Cory were not used to doing yo-yo tricks around other people, even with a second person nearby. There's no way that this involved more than them yo-yoing in front of or behind or out to the sides, operating in parallel to the dance crew. It didn't happen. Galligan did an amazing job illustrating it, but there's no way that could have happened. Still, this is me nitpicking about something silly. It was great. It was a great story of friendship. It was a great story of overcoming obstacles. I highly recommend it. Go borrow it from your local public library. You won't be disappointed. While I'm on that note, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and value the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding the sustainable funding they need to continue improving the programs and services and access to materials that we all enjoy so much. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. And if by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me gush about this graphic novel. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the Cowhat Library. Thank you. Bye now.